We'd like to welcome everyone to CFNC's Back to School Free Tools to Plan Your Future. Thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy evening on a Monday to be with us so that we can share information with you regarding our many free tools on CFNC's website. Tonight's speakers will be myself, Soretta Broadway, CFNC Regional Representative for the 919 area code, and Dr. April Query, who is the CFNC Assistant Vice President for the Community Access and Community Outreach. We have a wonderful agenda for you tonight. We're going to be talking about why create CFNC, high school planning, what's your E, tips, importance, I'm trying to get your names out of the way so I can read, tips, importance of this information, career assessments, college search, career and college promise, creating a personal resume, extracurricular activities, apprenticeships, ABSVAB scores, scholarship resources, open hours, tours, etiquette, resources in Spanish, and other events that are coming up in the near future. So we want to talk about first the partnership and to explain a little bit about who CFNC actually is. What we want you to know is that we are a comprehensive website that is a free resource for North Carolina students and families, where we provide information on planning, applying, paying, and saving for college. We consider our website to be very comprehensive because of the partners that make up CFNC, which you see on the green wheel to your right. It's made up of the 16 UNC campuses. It's made up of the 58 community colleges. Is made up of the 36 independent colleges and universities, North Carolina State Education Assistance Authority, North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, and College Foundation Incorporated. We do have a wonderful call center, which you can call anytime to get questions answered at 1-866-866 CFNC, which is 2362. And we have 9 field representatives, including myself, who cover every area code across the state of North Carolina. So you have someone in your community, in your county, that actually works one-on-one with the schools, the educators, etc. So remember, if you remember nothing else tonight, remember the word free, because we are a free resource. So we have a poll regarding what is CFNC. How familiar are you with CFNC? We've been around since 2000. We've been here in the state of North Carolina providing information to our families and students for over 23 plus years. So we're hoping that during that time and that duration, you've gotten a little bit familiar with us. So we sit here with our participation tonight. We've had about 85% of you participate, 17 out of 20 of you, and 6% of you are very familiar. 35% of you are somewhat familiar. And 59% is not familiar at all. So guess what? After tonight, you won't be able to say that, because what we're going to do is acclimate you to CFNC. We have another poll here that's regarding creating your CFNC account. So, do you or your student have a CFNC account? Do you or your student have a CFNC account? Okay, so we have about, again, 90% participated this time. So 10% of you said yes, 50% of you stated no, and then there's 40% of you saying, I'm not quite sure. 9 times out of 10, I'm sure your young person has a CFNC account name and password. Well, let me tell you the advantage of having a CFNC account. It's going to be required for you to be able to have access to different tools on our website. Now, you can navigate some through the different modules on our website, but we want you to be able to build a profile, which includes a dashboard of yourself, which houses all of your information. And by you having a dashboard, you can save your results, or you can save items that you may have started on that you weren't able to complete at school, or maybe the phone rang, or back in the day, the phone would ring. Let's say the dryer stopped and you had to go get some clothes out of the dryer, so you have washing and drying clothes. But nevertheless, you can save your information and pick back up where you left off if you have that CFNC account name and password. As you can see from the check marks on the left of the screen, these items are required in order for you to be able to access them. You must have a CFNC account if you want to save your results. As I said before, we have a tool called Residency Determination Service, which allows you to be eligible to receive state-based aid or in-state tuition. Also, if you want want to be able to send your transcripts electronically free of charge. You must have a CFNC account name and what have you. Also, in order to be able to apply to community colleges, for example, or other four-year colleges and universities, you must have a CFNC account name. And to take advantage of the fee waiving colleges during College Application Week, which is North Carolina Countdown to College Month for our high school seniors, you got to have that CFNC account and password. So we try to encourage our students, middle school, but particularly our high school students, to go ahead and get that CFNC account in place so you won't hit any roadblocks. Plan your future. We want you to be very successful throughout your secondary years, throughout middle school, elementary, middle school, and high school, because our website is geared towards students kindergarten through adulthood. But what you see here is our high school planning timeline that we created for you. And we start as early as 8th grade. So we start helping you out in 8th grade so you can transition from middle school on to high school. And whenever you click one of the grade levels, it gives you the activities that are geared primarily towards you. For example, for my 8th grader transitioning over to a freshman, we make you aware of what the college entrance requirements are, telling you about different assessments that you can take advantage of, and student enrichment programs that we have here across the state of North Carolina. And as you can see in that round circle, we help you with the planning for college, planning for a career, as well as planning resources. So depending upon which grade level you are, would depend upon what result you would get. And right here we have a checklist of some items that you need to do during the fall, the winter, and the spring, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. Again, this is a snapshot of what you will see when you go to our website. But of course, if you go to that link that you see at the bottom, CFNC timeline is going to take you to the detailed checklist of what you need to do to make sure you're on task for everything. So we're going to take another poll at this time. What is your E? Now, I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10, you're going to hear me say that a lot tonight, you're going to fall in one of these categories once you graduate from high school. You're either going to be enrolling in college to continue your education. You're going to enlist in one of the armed services. You might decide to go directly into employment. Looking for employment in a particular area, maybe career technical education, or you're going to become an entrepreneurship, owning your own business. So which area do you think you will fall in? So it looks like we have 15 out of 25 that have participated in this poll, and 100% of you think you're going to be enrolled. You're going to be continuing your education beyond high school. That is awesome. Awesome. 60% of you have shared your results. Tips for school. Now, these are some things, students, that you should be doing, and parents, you got to sometimes encourage and reinforce these at home. Attendance is crucially important. You can't know what's going on if you're not there. Make sure you're taking the right classes and maintain great, awesome study habits. It's going to pay off in the long run. Parents, you definitely want to reinforce learning at home. And students, I hope that you are you are self-motivated to learn at home. Talk about your careers. Have a chit chat around the dinner table about what your plans are after high school, going to college, enlisting, as we said before. Also, you want to monitor their school progress in the student and or parent portals, such as Power Schools. You want to make sure that you're looking at that on a consistent basis, not just quarterly, once a quarter, but throughout the quarter, shall I say. So yes, you want to be serious about your grades each and every school year. In middle school and high school, we want you to be serious about your grades, because whatever posture you are in middle school, 9 times out of 10, you're going to continue that same posture, making sure that you're doing well in school. It's important to you. Get to know who your counselor is, who's assigned to you. Normally it's by alphabet, but you definitely want to introduce yourself to your counselor, make them aware of what you think your career goals are going to be, as well as get to know your teachers, and your teachers get to know you. Stay connected with what's going on at your school. Make sure, parents and students, you are attending meetings that are geared toward your grade level. They have parent meetings. They'll have freshman night, sophomore, junior, senior night. You want to be there so you can get it hot off the press and not what someone else has told you, because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be able to tell you everything that happened. Sign up for school communication apps. You see it, Remind, Balloon, Parent Squares, just to mention a few. And follow social media platforms for your school, for College Foundation of North Carolina, so you can stay abreast of events such as this. Now, high school is important. So glad that you asked, because you get to learn more than what you know right now. And young people, I know you think you know it all, but trust and believe you will be forever learning. And that's a way to keep up your social skills by seeing your friends. And you get to be involved in sports at the school, if that's what your taste of extracurricular activity is. If not, they have a plethora of other many activities, such as band, chorus, art, just to mention a few. And then you also get to start planning for life beyond high school because of what you're being exposed to while you are in school. Remember, college may seem a great way off, but it is right around the corner before you know it. We want you to be a well-rounded student because when applying to colleges and universities, they want well-rounded students. Of course, first and foremost, they're looking at those grades, but they're also wanting to know, have you been involved in any volunteer services, community involvement, or what have you, volunteer hours, community service? Are you involved in extracurricular activities all during the year? You don't wait until your senior year to join everything that you can so you can have something to put on your admissions application, but you've been involved in various clubs, SGA, or sports throughout your high school years. So that looks like you have some consistency. That's where I'm going. They want to see consistency, okay? So that change. So I mentioned earlier about getting to know your school counselor because she or he is going to be a phenomenal resource to you. They're going to help you set goals that will lead into the path of success as far as your academics are concerned. And then, of course, you may have some personal goals that you've set. Also, they're going to help you review and know what your options are. Is also be able to share local and regional scholarship information, for example, with you and other opportunities, maybe some job shadowing they may know about. They'll also be the ones that will tell you about and let you know what you need to do in order to get a fee waiver for testing and college applications. So you want to make sure that when you are meeting with your counselor, that you have prepared yourself with a list of questions that you want to ask, because their time is very valuable when they have hundreds of students that are assigned to them. So you want to know what you want to talk about and what you want to work on so that you can go ahead and get and tell them, so they don't know how serious you are because you came prepared. Also, you want to make sure that you share information about yourself, what your future plans are, what your hobbies are, what your extracurricular activities are, so that if you ever need for them to provide you with a reference or the scholarships comes across their screen, or they're sent one via a snail mail possibly, but nevertheless, however it got to them, if they know what your plans are, you're someone that's going to come to their mind that they'll reach out to and say, I got this the other day and I think you may need the criteria to apply. But if they don't know anything about you, you haven't introduced yourself, there's no way that they're going to be able to do that. Okay. Plan for a career. College Foundation of North Carolina and NC Careers joined forces together a couple of years ago. We are partnering. And basically what that means is that we have decided to allow you to have one single sign-on. Whatever your CFNC account name and password is, you'll be using the same CFNC account name and password to access NC Careers and vice versa, because we want to make sure that you have the most up-to-date information regarding careers as well as opportunities here in the state of North Carolina. In addition, we do have some wonderful assessment tools that can assist you with finding out what career best suits your personality. You may already know what it is you want to do. If I still encourage you to take the assessments at the CFNC website. Now, you have interest, profile, skill survey, career key. Those are some very popular ones that we have on our website. Those are middle high school students. They don't take very long period of time. They tell you what is most commonly the amount of time it takes to go through the question. They 10 to 15 minutes. They give you a result to tell you whether or not you're artistic, realistic, investigative, all of their terrible. It's so exciting for students that in basic career they plan to go into the results. Again, please take advantage of these free tools that we have on our website. I now going to turn this over to my colleague. We're going to move into talking about college and so we have the chat open or a career considering. I know it's what I'm to. I've been providing something and where you are in this planning process. So definitely the session. You guys this planning. You start talking about planning for career first, because so I don't you that are interested in college. Then college has the same, and college is your fit. Because you are able to do in-person for us to have that obligation. So that is so that is that is so as career goes, some careers require a certificate or degree or a bachelor's degree or master's degree. I'm sure you're so I'm going to thinking how far are you making? You're going to say 6 hours, you're close, so you're looking at which is a really institution that is close enough to home for so I need to go with it. I'm going to institutions that are so it's very decision and there's we have to know what happens. There's to stay time you're in and concentrate on what works for the student. So there's no decision on it. And we're going to chat with at state, so that's so fun. So we're going to do that. So we're going to go over things to you. And it's really exciting to see and I'm sure we're on is big and that's why most students have to plan until summer year because they're in junior year that's everything is studying to take it and start to narrow down to take those assessments. So we're just saying yeah, so this is your veterinarian, sports physical therapy. We've got alumni of Old Dominion University. And so yeah, these are awesome. Yeah, go Pirates. So many fun things that go into searching and figuring out what we want to do. It's fun. So in the favorite college section, we mentioned the college search. We also have other resources, just an example, SAT, ACT. There are a lot of colleges that test optional now. You have a link to the and you definitely want to read what they have to say about that testing. Some institutions don't require it for admissions. They might require it for some scholarships. So you can check out, you can get this is good with the testing and you're excited to do that. Okay. So we have someone else in the chat that wants to study nursing, something medical, and wants to go to Fayetteville State. Go Broncos. That is so fun. I love it. All right, let's take a poll over here and talk a little bit about CCP. So I'm curious to know if you guys have heard of career college scholarship. I just wanted to make sure that we provide some information on it for everyone here. I know different levels odd. So it's a good option that we have in North Carolina, essentially a dual enrollment program. So I'm going to end the poll and share the results. Everyone can see it. Okay. So we've got a good mixture here. I'm looking for CCP. And some folks maybe some familiar, and then we've got about 33% on tonight who have heard it. So it's a really good option. Let's talk about what it is so that you know about it, because as we're thinking about
all of the resources exist on CFNC that we have in North Carolina and the state. This is a big one, so we want to make sure we touch on it for a few minutes. So this is North Carolina's dual enrollment programs for high school students. So essentially is dual enrollment. Basically, you are enrolling in a local community college while you're still in high school and you're taking those classes. All of these career health promise, AP, honors type courses. The goal of all of these programs is to show colleges, to show the admissions office that you can handle college level work. So they all have the same kind of goal. AP, of course, if you take that AP exam after the course, at the end of the course, you can possibly college credit for it. This is also college credit dual enrollment. So there's just different programs, and it's what suits you. So it's good to know about them so you can choose. So these credits that you have as you enroll in the community college, they are all taken by our institutions in North Carolina. So all of our public 2-year, 4-year, and many of our private institutions. So you kind of have that pretty solid guarantee they're going to transfer good, which is great. And some of them might meet a school graduation requirement. So all of this stuff you should make the recommend to a school counselor or advisor. Definitely a school counselor at least to have a conversation about. I just heard about this. We attended the program. I got a little bit of information on it. I'm interested in knowing more. How can you kind of tell me some more that I can do? Okay? So just a couple of things around college credit, just high school, which we just talked about. It's available to all North Carolina public schools, families. It's available all over. So whatever school you're in, should be able to get information about it and learn about enrolling. So a few benefits. So you can use both your high school courses and those college courses as part of CCP to fill your schedule and get credit for both. So you've got your high school credit, your college credit. A lot of courses are very rigorous, and sometimes usually they're offered on college campus, which is usually a community college campus. So it gives you the chance to kind of experience what it's like to take a college level course on a college campus and start to get that comfort level in, so that mystery, right, of what it's like on a college campus and to take a college level course, mystery doesn't need to be there, right? It can just kind of fall away. They have lots of different programs. This is something I don't think we kind of tell enough, is they line with technical careers and then education programs are taking you somewhere different. Okay, so sometimes we'll have students think one way or the other. Oh, I think I'm going to go to a technical career. I don't know if CCP is for me. No, it is. Technical careers are they're difficult careers, and most of those technical careers you have to go to community college, right, and get some experience and learn some different things and come out with that certificate or that associate's degree. And they also align with students that are extra good or like community college to transfer to four school. Here's my options in North Carolina. The other thing that's really great about CCP is it's free. It's free. So you are taking college level classes and getting credit and having free tuition. Okay, so that's an excellent option for really all students. Okay, so who participates? 90% writers who meet additional eligibility criteria. So make sure that you are talking to your counselor about that. But the main area is probably more based on So if you are, for example, a sophomore and you're curious about this, get on and have a conversation about what that might look like for you. Okay. All right. So let's move on to talk about creating a personal resume. So I'm in middle school or high school when someone says a resume, I'm thinking that's not me. That's grown up with more experience. Okay. But really, I think it's important to talk about what the point of a resume is. Whether you're talking about a work resume or whatever it might be, listing credentials, qualifications, all of those fun things. And a high school resume is really important, especially as you get into senior year. So I want especially the students on here, the parents and girls, we can't remember what happened yesterday, let alone 4 years. But try to think about the last 4 years, your activities, your classes, any honors you got, an award, anything like that. It's really hard to remember all of that. And what creating a high school resume does, if you don't start until senior year, it's fine. You can just spend some time thinking through stuff. But really, if you're essays, grade level wise, for your 9th or 10th grade, it's a great time just once a semester to jot down some stuff and continue building your high school resume. You can put things in there like classes you've taken, extracurricular experience, maybe it's a tutoring, maybe you volunteered freshman and sophomore year on the school newspaper. These things are keeping you super. So we really encourage you to start that high school resume. The other thing that's so wonderful about that is when you get into senior year phase in high school, you're going to need to ask for letters of recommendations, right? For admissions, for scholarships, maybe different things. So the best thing that you can do is, let's say you are going to your math teacher, just an example, saying, hi, my name is April, and I need a letter of recommendation in a couple weeks, and want to get them at least a couple weeks notice. And I'm really excited about the scholarship opportunity, and I'm going to need a letter of recommendation. So the teacher's probably going to say, yeah, absolutely, I would love to. And they're going to write you a letter based on what they know of you. So how you perform in the math class, okay? How helpful you are to others in the class. If you maybe something that's initially, you tutoring and you stay extra and you can really put those grades up. That's really awesome. That's a cool thing. But that teacher doesn't know about the rest of the stuff that you're doing. The teacher doesn't know that you volunteer in your community and that you babysit your little brother or sister after school because mom and dad's out of work. They don't know all these other things about you. So this high school resume allows these folks to create a holistic letter recommendation. So now they're not just talking about you in the math class and how you've been doing, and maybe you're helping the student who just transferred and is behind and sometimes really helping them. They know that, but also now they know all of these other things. So they're doing that on top of ABD. So those are really like just wonderful things. If you have any other reasons why you think that would be, resume great, throw in that. Yeah, students from here, with Canva probably. It has some excellent resume builders out there. They've got all kinds of stuff. But they've got ones that are free too. So I would encourage you to pull it up on a computer, laptop, desktop, something on your phone, so you can see it better, plug information in. And save it. So Canva's an excellent resource. So in that chat, why don't you guys throw in some extracurriculars that you have done, your student has done, or you're planning on doing, depending on where you are and what grade level you're in. And how would you think broadly too? Sometimes students, when you hear extracurriculars, you're just thinking where you've been volunteering. Okay, but then it expands beyond that. As I just gave an example a minute ago, that there may be a student who part of their extracurriculars, and things that are doing outside of the regular 7:30 to 3:30, whatever your school day is, what's you're doing outside of that. Maybe you're making grades and you are on the yearbook committee, as I said before, as an example. And also you babysit their home after school because parents are still working. That's something else you want to keep in mind. The point, let's get back to what the point is. The point is to show our institutions in North Carolina that you can multitask, you can handle multiple responsibilities at once, and still find ways to do. Who else would you want institutions we were able to do that. So we've got a few things in the chat, for example. So working, soccer, National Honor Society. These are things you can forget. You do not want to fail to toot your own horn for college admissions, right? Boy Scouts, 4-H choir, dance, grass for neighbors. Oh, that's a great one. Part-time work, Avid, golf team, environmental service club. All kinds of stuff. I was in poetry club. And worked and volunteered in the community at the Boys and Book Club, and all kinds of cool stuff. You can be a counselor and training at a camp. And you may even find some extracurriculars that you can do that are related to that you're considering. That's kind of cool. So maybe you think about volunteering in a local hospital, you're thinking about a medical career. It'd be super cool. Okay, so apprenticeships are another really good option. I wish apprenticeships started with an E, so we can include it in our 4Es and we find these because they're becoming more and more popular across North Carolina. And if you're not familiar with apprenticeshipnc.com, I would encourage you to take a look. Their website's relatively new. I want to say it was about 2 years ago, somewhere in that area. And it's a really, really good information resource. Okay? So some benefits of apprenticeships, and like I said, it's becoming more and more popular in North Carolina. So students usually can start apprenticeships. Sometimes you can start at your senior year, if not directly after. You get learning, you get technical training, so you get all that cool stuff. But the idea with an apprenticeship is that you are learning and working kind of at the same time. They're going like hand in hand. You can earn certifications and credentials, and then you can earn a wage. You can jumpstart your career locally if that's what you're looking for. So if you are thinking, I'm not in media, I think maybe I want to stick around here and really into welding, just for an example, and you're curious about apprenticeships and this, you're ready to get in. You can make a lot of money welding, just as an example. Hard work. My husband and I have a friend who's a welder, and he works a lot of hours, and it's very work. It does, work out. So there's just really good. So consider that also. So we're going to take one more poll in the material. So we're going to talk about ASVAB. And you might think, I don't know if this one's better because I don't even know how it is, but we're going to talk about that. So those are the things that so you have those that I was talking about earlier. I'm listing is those things that you're interested in. Okay. So what about that ASVAB score? What excuse me, is it better? Okay. So that's all. Share those. And it's pretty related. Let's talk about what ASVAB score is. So about 58% you are sure, and then 42% say yes. So you're not sure, or you know this, it's yes. Okay. The ASVAB score is kind of like an assessment or a test that you take if you're considering enrolling in the military, and it is an aptitude and skills test. Okay? It essentially kind of thinks about possible future careers and such within the military and where you may want to be occupation-wise. So this is important for a couple of reasons. One is you may go into the military and you may stay there until retirement. That might be your long-term career. You might go into the military and do 3, 4, or 5 years, whichever branch you're going to do, years around, and then decide to leave. Or do it for 10 years and decide to leave. So if it's especially if it's not necessarily something that you might end up doing for an entire career, it's really important to learn skills, focus in the military on certain skills, and especially if you are not thinking about making it, a lifelong career. What are some skills that are adaptable when you come back to civilian life? Okay, so I have a cousin, for example, who is in the Marine Corps and has been for probably 15 years, and he wasn't sure if he was going to get a lifelong career, so he went into mechanics within the Marine Corps. So he's like in the country also skills that if he doesn't end up staying in the military forever, that he's able to civilian life. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing that's really important is specifically thinking about these ASVAB scores with what you might do occupation-wise within the military and out, is also if you earn a higher score. So if you do quite well on that ASVAB, it could make you eligible for enlistment bonuses and a wide range of military positions. Okay? So it is very important. You want to prep for it. Okay? And then we have an interesting fact that we threw in here: the Air Force actually requires the highest ASVAB score over any other branch. So there's free ASVAB tests, test prep online. You can contact me a lot of resources, but also talk to your school counselor. And the score doesn't matter. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about some scholarships. So what we find is families who join programs like this, even if you're 3 years off from it, you want a little bit of different. So when it comes time, you're going to have all kinds of financial aid opportunities for you senior year. The reason we have about scholarships specifically right now is that many of the things that you're doing for college admissions are also things that you are doing for scholarships down the road. So those extracurriculars we talked about, thinking about high school resume, different things we talked about, those will also come into play when you start looking for scholarships. Some scholarships that you apply for are based on financial need, right? Some are based on merit, and some are based on both. It could be a talent, academics, athletics, could be a variety of things, okay? And so there's scholarships based on each of those, and like I said, they're mixed together. A lot of scholarships do have an essay as part of the application, and that's important to kind of recognize now because, one, you want to make sure mentally you're ready for it, okay? They're not long, a page. And like I said, a lot of them require it because it's the best way for a scholarship maybe to figure out who they feel like is a good connect, a good recipient of that scholarship based on their requirements, right? And also, you want to have something to write about. So a lot of scholarship essay questions might be something personal. So it might say, why do you deserve this? So if you think about all the kids in your class, right? Why do you deserve it over the kids that are all around you? And you need to make sure that you're ready and you're confident that you can answer questions. Other ones might be specific to that scholarship. So maybe it's just scholarship in community service. Have a good job with community service and say, why is community service important? You need to have answers. As you are just having your life experiences, whether personal life experience, something with volunteering, something that's impacted you positively, negatively, maybe changed your path. These are all things that make you or make your student them and give them topics organically to write about in scholarship essays and admissions essays. So being involved with these different activities help you, have context, right, and have those life experiences to write about. So we'll be sure to send this out to everybody. It'll be in the all that's written here, but there's lots of it. Scholarship doing we'll take those out of town. We talk about open houses, college fairs, advocate for those. Okay? As it says right here, nothing beats stepping foot on a possible college campus. You can do a scheduled tour. We encourage you if you're going to go do a campus tour to go when college is in session. So there's other students around and they're still going on campus, and you can see what it's like on a typical day, and not necessarily during their spring break. You can see it's going to be your home for a while. Keep in mind that community colleges do tours also. Okay, so sometimes students will think, well, I'm not in my local community college. I bypass it all the time. Just because you bypass it, I can promise you, does not mean that you know some of the cool stuff going on campus. And if you're not considered a local school, like, I live in Bloomington, so over here on the coast, and we have community college in UNC Bloomington. And if I'm a student living here, I still would encourage a student to go to a campus tour, if nowhere else than in the town. Just go around and feel, and bring your grown-ups along. Sometimes students say, no, they don't want to. They ask different questions than you do, and than you might as students. And those are important questions. And you might think, gosh, I didn't think to even ask that. So we encourage you to bring your grown-ups along, take pictures, and don't forget to take notes. And if you cannot get to an institution, keep in mind that CFNC has got a virtual reality app, and you can download it in your app store. I think it's both Android and iPhone. You can do a cool virtual reality and app tour in different institutions. Also on our website, we have some resources for you. You can look at every institution in North Carolina, pictures, quick facts, requirements. So those are great resources. Okay, one other thing that I'll mention about this slide before I move on, and we have about 5 minutes to leave, and see if you guys have some questions, is in your high school, they just started last week, it is college fair season. So that means that admissions counselors from institutions all over the state, and maybe even a few out of state, and then CFNC, travel around our whole state. We started last week, and it'll go into the first week of November or so. And they set up tables, usually during the day, sometimes it's an evening where parents can go. And they're ready to talk to you about their institution, answer your questions. It is an important piece of those college fairs. When you're talking to admissions counselors, keep in mind that they are they're usually around the crew of folks that are reading those applications. Shake their hand, smile, be present. Okay? It happens a lot where students will come in and ask a question for a minute, and you see your friend across the gymnasium, we haven't seen in 4 hours. You just got to leave and go talk to them, and focus on what you're there for. You're probably in there for 30 minutes. Usually it's just juniors and seniors to get to come into those college fairs, but once in a while, high schools let 9th and 10th grade in. But usually juniors and seniors. But be prepared. Go onto that college's website before there, and take a look. So say you're there looking at Central and App and who knows what else it might be. Blue Ridge Community College, right? So go onto those websites and take a look, learn some stuff, figure out what you want to ask, and then use that time wisely. Okay, you're not going to get those opportunities but once a year, and college students are you'll have 3 minutes to learn the message. Usually, parents usually just schools will usually let you come in for those. So what Soraya was talking about earlier, paying attention to your social media and whatever your school uses, Class Dojo, whatever it is. Pay attention to those announcements. A lot of times they'll announce this on the high school website. And you can get going and walk around and ask those questions. And it's not talk to you are alum. Most of the time they're alum of the institution, and they really love that college, and they're happy to talk to you about all kinds of stuff, about a specific major they have, a club, music, all kinds of stuff. All right, so just as FYI, we have lots of resources in English and Spanish. I don't know if you can translate it into Spanish. So you go to cfnc.org, you see Espanol, you can click there and translate our website. We have resources and publications on our site that are in Spanish, and necessarily just translated from English. We have 2 Spanish services in the state that work with CFNC, and we they do a great job of helping create resources that are specific to maybe immigrant families, to folks that just aren't, maybe you have families that are well versed on this whole process in their own country, but maybe not so much here in the U.S. And so they're looking for lots of really cool information. There. We do want to make sure we told you about the comment list. CFNC.org/events is where you can find all kinds of program listed there. That's really all our statewide virtual programs. And we don't list them for the whole year now. Usually the programs that are happening in the next month or 2 will be listed. So come back and take a look. It is about countdown college season. So it's all up to 1. It's North Carolina Countdown College, where we focus on the 3 main steps of college admissions, the application, financial aid or FAFSA, and residency RDS. So CFNC.org/C2C has a lot of great resources for families. College application week is coming up in a few weeks, where a lot of our colleges waive their application fees. It does happen every year. So if you've got a 9th grader at home, you're thinking, well, that's great, but what about in a few years? We do it every year in October, usually the 3rd week of October, but talk to your school counselor. We do have a really cool virtual career fair coming up, and it's listed at cfnc.org/events, so it's on there. We have a panel of experts, people that work in the field and work at colleges that offer health and animal science programs. So we'll have people who can attend this in from 3:30 to 5 on October 5th. That's another cool event happening. And like I said earlier, keep an eye on the school in your community. And we can't hear this stuff enough usually. So that sink in and spend time going to these programs. If you have questions, let us know. It's a wonderful time for you to throw questions in the chat. If you'd rather ask questions privately, that Q&A feature that you should see is private question. You got it right up and set for your speakers this evening. And lastly, again, so I mentioned this earlier, but don't underestimate connecting with social media and stuff. CFNC makes a very comprehensive YouTube channel with playlists based on topic with recorded seminars like this one. So we encourage you to take a look at that. And then also you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And there's a lot of posts that go out, especially on Facebook and Instagram, on the different tidbits of information. But so we encourage you to follow us along there. I'm going to stop for a minute and just see if there was anything I missed that Mr. Retta wanted to mention, or if there's anything that anyone wanted to unmute and ask. But if there was anything else Mr. Retta wanted to mention, and then I will stop recording before folks kind of come on and answer any questions. Was there anything I missed, Retta?
I don't think you missed anything. I just don't want anyone to think that it's ever too early to create a CFNC account. You're the best if you can familiarize yourself with the website. So when your grade level comes upon you in high school, the 9th grade or the 10th grade and in your senior year, you're very familiar with the website. You've already established a program, your dashboard, you've been saving information for years, and it will be easier to navigate through our website. You've done an awesome job, Dr. Query, on sharing information about the additional resources that have on CFNC. So I just hope that parents, you will encourage us to stay on our website on a regular basis, just stay abreast of everything. Any updates that we get, we post them on our website because we want to make sure that our residents of the state are keeping up with if fee waivers off the table, what have you, if there's any type of career fair, virtual fair, this one on ACC career fair, or program already here, she said earlier. So we definitely just stay tuned and just connect with us on social media. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening and taking time out of your night to listen to this. We will be sharing it out soon. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute or throw it in the chat Q&A. Good luck with everything. And again, we appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.